Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're refinishing a dresser. We got a great dresser, but it doesn't look great right now. Someone tried to paint it before, and yeah, that didn't go very well. But it's a big piece, and it has a lot of potential. We're going to give it a fresh, modern look. So, let's get started.
So the first step was removing all the old paint. For the dresser body, we used a paint stripping gel. While the gel was working, we moved on to the drawers. The paint on the drawers came off very easily with a putty knife. We waited quite a while, but unfortunately the paint stripping gel worked kind of weird. The paint was still pretty hard to remove. This was our first time using a paint stripper, so maybe we did something wrong. Or it could just be that the one we bought wasn't very good. But I do want to point out that the paint came off best on the sides. Most of the paint was already removed, but it was important to get rid of all the remaining paint and gel before moving on to sanding. It took a bit of time, but proper prep really matters.
The next step is degreasing the surface, and then I apply the first coat of primer. We plan to use a paint sprayer for the paint, but since this is our first time using it, I'm worried the primer might clog the nozzle, so to be safe, I decide to roll the primer on instead. I've also seen primers that come in spray cans. That might be a good option to try as well. It could be faster and give a smoother finish, since using a roller can sometimes leave lint behind. But either way, after the primer coat, a quick pass with a Scotch-Brite pad helps remove lint and clean up any rough spots. Like I mentioned earlier, we'll be using a paint sprayer for the paint, and this will be our first time using it.
The first coat was more of a practice run since we weren't sure how to use the sprayer properly yet. One mistake I made was moving the sprayer back and forth over the same area and holding it too close to the surface. But that's totally okay, since this is just the base coat. By the second coat, we were much more prepared. We covered the walls with masking film to keep everything clean. This time I painted more methodically, working section by section, and that gave us a really nice result. With the dresser done, it was time to focus on the drawers. We chose a different finish for the drawers to give them a more interesting look. We decided to wrap them in a wood look film. There are many different types of films and lots of color options. We actually bought this one a while ago for a bed project. The plan was to wrap the bed frame in this film, but we changed our minds and ended up upholstering it with fabric instead. If you're interested, we have a short about that project, and I'll leave the link in the description. Fun fact, a ping pong table is useful for more than just playing. It actually makes a pretty great work surface, and it's super convenient to work on. While I'm working on wrapping the drawers, I'll quickly talk about the tools I'm using. For this, I'm using a vinyl wrap tool kit. There are lots of different kits available online, with different tools included, and you can easily find them on Amazon. But if you just want to try it out, you don't need a full kit. A simple utility knife works great, and instead of a squeegee, you can use a plastic card, like an old credit card. After applying the vinyl, I use a heat gun to help it stick better. It makes the film more flexible and helps it conform nicely to edges and corners. Just make sure not to overheat it.
And that's it for this dresser makeover. I think it turned out really great and looks fresh and modern, especially compared to how it looked before. How do you think it turned out? Let us know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.